Hello and welcome along to the latest video that's going to help you really apply the Plan, Grow, Do methodology, the core methodology that we've shared, and how you can really grasp certain elements of it to see how you can apply what it is that you do in your daily activities to better sales outcomes. And in today's video, I'm going to touch on elements of the customer journey, some statistics that we share that support that session, and how we can start to bring together a modern buying journey with a modernized sales approach. We're going to refresh on the 4Ds, explain what those zones are and how you might change your behavior to become more present as your buyers expect in that earlier stage of the buyer's journey. So let's jump in, and I'm going to set up a share screen here with my iPad. So bear with me one second. And you'll see here our friend, the 4Ds. And I'm going to spend some time just explaining the different zones and different axes here before we start sharing what we think this can do to help you improve your sales results. Up the left-hand side, you'll see what we think makes the modern customer journey, the buyer's journey. They go from unaware through to aware to consideration, decision, and then loyalty. Remember the 3 Rs, which we'll touch on in another video. These are the clear stages, the clear 4 stages before someone is a customer: unaware, aware, consideration, and decision. Now, across the bottom, you'll see cold to hot. This is the customer temperature, for want of a better word. Someone who's cold isn't ready to buy yet. Someone who's hot might be. We'll see how this starts to play out shortly. Going from bottom left to top right, you'll see SpanCop, the sales process that we share in Plan, Grow, Do. This is wider at the bottom in the S and the P phase, and then narrower at the top. So we bring together here at this early stage the buyer's journey and the sales process. Underneath this, you'll see 4 zones. This is the diagnostic zone, the decision zone, the danger zone, and the dead zone. The diagnostic zone is where a customer is in their earlier buying journey, researching. They're finding out more information. They're solving their own problems or wanting to solve their own problems. So if you're not present here, you might be missing out on that early opportunity. The decision zone is where we go from consideration to decision and into loyalty. This is the negotiation, close, order, pay part of SpanCop. There's 2 risky zones that we introduced and want to share with you again. I'll just remind you what they are. We've got the danger zone in the bottom right, and this is where you might be tempted to more over-technicalize the sale. You offer more technical information. You really want to share as much stuff as you've got to share because you think more information wins, and you might potentially be afraid to ask for an order. The dead zone, on the other hand, on the top left, is where you might ask for the order too soon. You're not sure the customer is ready to move on yet. They've not got all the prerequisites that they need, and they might not even know who you are in the first place. So there's some real risks, but also some real opportunities to join together buying and selling. And I'm just going to annotate this a little bit with some of the statistics that we share. The first of those being 57% of a buying decision is made before your customers really want to meet you. So 57%, that's somewhere around here. It's almost all of the diagnostic zone. While someone is finding out what it is that they need themselves, they don't want to speak to you. Now, this might be quite good for you because your habits and your behaviors might be that of avoiding them until they're ready to speak to you. But we've got to think about how we can join that earlier on. So if this is 57% here, we also know that it takes between 5 to 12 contacts, touch points, engagements to make a sale. And if, in a personal sense, that's not happening for you later on in the perceived sales process, how much have you missed out on? Because if your customers down here are making those 5 to 12 contacts in the S and P and the diagnostic zone, in the unaware and aware and consideration phase, what could you be doing differently so you have better conversations in these zones? Let's just share what this might look like. If our consumer in the bottom left is currently unaware of you, i.e. I'm cold, I'm not in the market for anything yet, I don't know who you are, but you have a list, and your list is that of, here's some numbers, go and phone them, go and speak to them, go and sell them something, and go and say, buy my stuff to them. You can see the disconnect on screen. We're not aligned. We haven't joined up buying and selling. We've got something to sell. I don't care if you've got nothing to buy. So we're wasting time. There's no point in behaving in this dead zone like this. Likewise, we could drift like this. The customer might have had their 57% decision. I'm ready to make a decision. I'm moving up through consideration, but we don't like asking for the sale. We might not be able to spot the signs. We might be able to see what's going on with our prospect. So the danger zone, we might offer more technical specification. We might use heavy jargon. We might just keep bamboozling and confusing this potential customer with more information, even though what they want is a next step to say, here's how you can order from us. So both are equally risky. I hope you can see the pitfalls. You might be able to see some of your own behaviors. And what we, I guess, invite you to be doing is, if you currently sit here as a salesperson, waiting in the consideration zone for your customers to catch you up, you might be waiting a long time. Because what might be happening is, if this is you waiting at the consideration stage, there might be someone who's adapted a more modern sales approach, understands the need to come down in the buyer's journey earlier on and start building relationships at this S&P phase. So that when this customer, potential customer, moves themselves along their own buyer's journey, they're still aligned in the sales process. So then when it comes to asking the question of, are you ready to make an order? Are you ready to move forward? I've got so much more trust, and I know these people, I like these people, and I trust these people, that if someone else comes in later who I've got no idea who they are, we fall out and we become misaligned. So it's vital that as modern sales professionals, we become more active at that early stage in the buyer's journey. We all highlight and recognize the need for a more personal approach. Yet we hide behind corporate banners. We all recognize the need for that personal engagement in our own consumer position. But when we go over into our sales exec, sales management, sales director shoes, we forget that. And we say, we don't do it in our business like that. It's different. But if your customer is starting online, over 90% of decisions start online, they want to get to know you. You could be ignoring over half your market, as we share in other videos. So we have to think about how we can become more aligned in this diagnostic zone. Now, the beauty of the diagnostic zone is you can have a large holding pattern. A holding pattern being, I've got a network of people who may or may not one day be my customer. I've got a network of people who may or may not one day refer me to someone else in their network. The beauty of the platforms that we have available today means we can speak one to many in this zone. So it doesn't take up too much more of our time. It just means we use our time more cleverly. So think about what opportunities you've got. Bear in mind, millennial buyers, millennial customers are getting younger. Their behaviors are more online, their journeys start online, and they want to engage with you as late as possible. So we have to start showing up earlier, because they'll start to self-serve without you and won't need you at all. So that's a refresher around the 4Ds, a key part of our methodology that brings together buying and selling. I hope you can see the importance of really grasping this and seeing how you can become more present earlier on in that buying journey. So you are more aligned at that early stage. So when the buyer takes themselves into the consideration phase, it's more likely you who they want to engage. So I hope that's helpful. A bit around the customer journey, a bit about your role within it. I hope that's good, and we'll see you again for another video very soon.